Hello, world. Thank you for joining us tonight as Louisiana and the great continental Commonwealth of Australia examines Wychwood Hobgoblin. Welcome, Australia.
Greetings.
Let me say this. I think someone might have their mic turned up too loud because I'm hearing some feedback on your end somewhere. I'm hearing an echo.
Is it my end, you reckon, maybe?
I don't know. I was hearing a feedback, and I don't usually get that.
Okay, this is just an
Feedback.
iPad, so I'm not sure. Yeah.
Oh well. Anyhow, I have a Rush album called Test for Echo. Yeah, I definitely hear that. We have Jez from New South Wales, correct?
Correct. Correct, Mundo.
And Swillengrog from Queensland.
That is correct, yes.
Now, I don't know when Wychwood came out, but I believe it was 1983 the company was started.
Yeah, the company was started in '83. I think back then, it was the Clinchers brewery site that Paddy Glennie acquired. He originally called it the building, the Eagle Brewery. The brewing company was actually called the Glennie Brewery firstly, but then Paddy Glennie moved away, and a fellow called Chris Moss became the founder, and I think in 1990 it was renamed the Wychwood Brewery. After the one after the Wychwood Forest that borders Witney, Oxfordshire, and also after their flagship brew, Hobgoblin beer, which I think was first brewed in 1988, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the company was, I think, in the early 2000s acquired by Refresh UK, but they've now been taken over by a company called Marston's. So there's a little bit of history for you. Yeah.
Yes, and Marston's runs many pubs across England, from what I learned this morning.
Yes, yes. So Wychwood Hobgoblin is very common on tap over there, or on draft, or over there I think they call it on cask, or in cask. Sorry. But yeah, in cask it's I think 4.2 or 4.5% ABV. So yeah, the ABV of the cask actually differs from that of what we get in the bottle, which is currently 5.2% ABV.
Yeah, 5.2. Now the ratings on Beer Advocate and Rate Beer are sort of not the greatest, but we don't answer to them. We just refer to them, right?
Yes, indeed.
No. You take them, the gospel, Jay, the gospel.
The gospel.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry, but yeah. What's Budweiser? 1 out of 10 or something? 1 out of 100?
I don't mind Rate Beer and Beer Advocate in this sense. Anytime I write a written review, and I always write a written review for any beer I'm reviewing, what I do is I'll write the review, then I'll go and look, what did people say about this beer in the last 30 days? And the main purpose of that is I want to see, does what I'm saying match up with what they're saying? Generally, that's the case. Now, it might not match up with if they like it or not, but I want to see if their characteristics they describe are the same, because I don't want to be, way off the track, and usually I'm not. So it's just to see if what I'm saying is correct. So and it's interesting to read, but for whatever that's worth, I mention it. Y'all, are you two men ready to do this beer?
Yes, most definitely.
Beer for brunch.
Okay, now
yes, beer for brunch here, indeed.
It's 7:35 p.m. here. What time is it?
It's 10:35 a.m. Here. Yeah.
On a Monday.
Monday.
You're not at work?
No, it's the Queen's birthday holiday here in Australia.
Oh, right. Yeah, we used to have that holiday here, but anyway, they had some problems with. Okay, I have a smaller bottle. I have. Oh, it made a little smoke.
I noticed that.
I have an 11.2 ounce bottle.
Yeah, we've got your 500 ml like bottle here, which would roughly equate to about a little over 16 fluid ounces.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to use the Hobgoblin bottle opener to crack mine open. Thought I would completely keep with the theme today.
Dave's stacked out. He's stacked out, y'all.
Yeah, I'm going all out this time, and I've also got a Hobgoblin glass to pour it into.
Look at that! Look at that for that 2 finger of head in a pint glass. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, look at mine.
Yes, very nice.
And it's a
Beautiful
red
head,
ale, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's actually referred to as a ruby beer.
I'm
Yeah,
holding it up to the remaining white, and I'm getting more of a rust color, I think.
Yeah, mine's... Yeah, a rusty color is a good description. I would call it like dark brown with a slightly sort of reddish hue if you hold it up to the light. But yeah, I do like your description. Yeah, rust color, and yeah, it's got like a very foamy looking beige head there too. I've got nearly 3 fingers.
Interestingly, I started off today around 7:35 doing a beer review AM, and now it's 7:35 PM, and go at it. Okay.
You're definitely a prolific reviewer, Jay.
Oh, thank you. Jazz, you give us the New South Wales smell assessment.
Okay, now I'm battling the flu a bit here on the other side of it, but we'll see how we go. See what I can drag out.
Okay.
Yeah, the first thing I always get from these kind of English ales is the hops. If you have a home brew, you kind of get that Goldings Fuggle smell coming through. You get like kind of fruity.
Definitely.
Fruity aroma. That's what it reminds me of. Because I've used Fuggles before by myself, and I've smelled them. I've had my beers, like when you home brew, you use a lot of Fuggles and that. And that's the aroma I always get, even from something like St. Petersburg, that Ruby Red Ale too. It kind of reminds you of that. Very fruity.
Oh yeah, you're definitely on the money there. Yeah.
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 SG.
Apparently, they use a blend of Styrian Goldings and Fuggles hops in this beer, and
really
chocolate.
Yeah.
Pale crystal and chocolate malt. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, it smells wonderful. It's rich, and Dave. Excuse me. I'll cough. Swilling grog. Do you pick up a noticeable fruit? Correct.
Yeah, there's a definite fruitiness in the aroma there. Your dark sort of fruits. I couldn't say exactly what it would be. Maybe dates, perhaps. Yeah, or sultanas, maybe. What you would call raisins. Yeah.
Oh yes. And how about fig, maybe?
Oh yeah.
I'm even picking up a bit of chocolate powder, believe it or not.
Yeah, there's a presence of chocolate there.
And maybe a possible molasses. Medium.
Yeah.
Not very dark. It's very interesting because it's not made with any of those ingredients, but somehow the barley and the hops bring that out.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Like they're obviously using very dark roasted malts here. That's the color, but yeah, I mean, in terms of aroma, you just get some amazing kind of aromas coming out. It's really rich and complex, one could say.
Really,
it's a bit like a.
Huh?
So it's a bit like you're talking about, like the ingredients aren't in there, but it smells like that. It's like a pale ale that tastes like it's been flavoured passion fruit. There's no passion fruit, but it tastes like passion fruit. It's just amazing what hops can do to a beer.
It is really amazing.
Yes.
It's almost like a yeast, like a like a yeastiness, like a a spice, like I know that's from the hops, but it's like some spices a person would use in cooking or baking, I should say, baking.
Yeah.
I could just smell it. If I couldn't drink it, I'd be satisfied to smell it, but I can't drink it, so let's do it.
Yeah. Here's to you all.
Cheers from America. Clink.
Clink.
I like what Jez said about those English hops. They always have some distinctive thing going on there that I have a very difficult time putting my finger on or my tongue on. You know what I mean? It's like I taste it, but I can't describe it. It almost has a metallic, and I say this sometimes, it's a metallic aspect, but of course it's not made with metal. But I think that's coming from the hops. And sometimes I'll say cellar mold, but I know it doesn't have cellar mold in it.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of earthy. The hops got earthy flavour. Kind of.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of earthy. I don't know. You've been from the field. It's a hearty brew. I haven't had this for about 2 years, and yeah, it hasn't changed. It's still delicious. Very nice.
It's been almost 2 years for me, and I've never eaten dirt. So, well, one time when I was 3 years old, I did.
Yeah, I think we all have.
But I don't typically eat dirt, so it's hard to say. You know, but I guess when people say earthy, in some ways it's like a mineral quality, right? Like iron or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely got that aspect to its flavour. Yeah.
The bitterness is noticeable, but not unpleasant.
Yeah, I think it's very well balanced in terms of bitterness and sweetness. Yeah, I think they definitely struck a good balance with it there, and yeah, I think those. It's just for me, I'm very much a fan of the the malty beers as opposed to the hop bombs out there. So
Yes.
for me, this is a real guilty pleasure. This beer. I mean. Yeah, it's just a malt lover's dream. This one, with its beautiful, dark roasted malts and toffee and chocolate flavors. It's just and it's just goes down so smooth as well. It's just
The drinkability is astronomical.
It is. It's certainly one that, and yeah, at 5.2%. Yeah, you could say that.
I mean, really, you could just guzzle it. But you would run into some inebriation issues with that if you guzzled it. But
yeah. Yes, I'd want to find a couch to lie down on.
Yeah, the mouthfeel is medium. I would say. You two agree with that?
Yeah, I'd say medium. Yeah, it's definitely got a good, viscosity to it. Yeah.
But I would not say it's heavy.
No. Yeah, medium. I would agree. Yeah.
Jez?
Also, I'd probably say, you know what? One thing I remember this beer, I don't remember. It's not sweet. Yeah, you get some English bitters. I know it's not class English bitter, is it, or ESB, but they're normally a bit more sweeter. This isn't as sweet, if you know what I mean. Like compare it to something like a Jay had not long ago, the World's Bombardier. I'd say it's probably a small sweeter brew than this. This is it's got all those characters there, the toffees and that. But it's not as sweet.
Yeah, the Bombardier was sweet. I think you might be right about that. Although I really did enjoy that one as well. I think this one also is hoppier than the Bombardier.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. Although the Bombardier was in a book called 300 Beers to Try Before You Die, and I really was impressed by it. But it was an English ale too, but it was very different in many ways than this. And in some ways it was similar. You know that kind of thing, where they're different and yet the same. Like automobiles, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely.
I even pick up, now this will sound bizarre, but I'm going to say it anyway. I even pick up a little bit of citrus in the undertaste.
Oh, yeah, there's a definite presence of citrus there. Yeah. No, I'm getting that. Yeah.
Not out front.
Oh.
Lingering on the back.
Yeah.
Like it's underneath or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
What would you say? More like sort of orange zest or more sort of like lemon?
At first I was going to say lemon, but now I think I would maybe be more inclined to say orange.
I think orange, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're on the money there. Yeah.
Well, if someone is a person that only drinks regular beers, right, light lagers or regular premium lagers, they're reluctant to try rich ales or exotic strong double bock lagers or whatever. You know, this could be a good introductory, I think.
Yeah, it could be, although for some people I think it would perhaps be a bit overwhelming. Like, I don't know, me personally, I would probably start somebody on like a Newcastle brown ale rather than this.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Maybe I'm just playing it too safe, but yeah.
It's probably good to play it safe because a lot of people aren't particularly open-minded. Now, I kind of use myself, you know, because I'm a bad example, I guess, because when I started drinking in February '96, I was just trying everything, you know. So, and some things would come across strong and harsh or whatever, and I would say, "Oh, that's so bitter, it's so strong," but then I would want to drink more of it. So, but many people, you know, would probably say, "Oh, that," and they would never try it again, you know.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the stronger and harsher it was, in some ways, it was like I wanted to drink it more or something. I don't know. It was like an adventure in a way. I've had a few that were just strong, harsh, and horrible. But you know, those were poorly made beers with bad ingredients. I'm not talking about that inner city gang fight type beer. I'm talking about legitimate beers that are just harsh and strong. You know, like say EKU 28 or Santa Claus. I don't know if you've had those two.
No, I never heard of them, I'm afraid.
No.
They'll bring you to one knee.
Oh, well, I want to steer clear of them then.
But they're fantastic. I have one in the fridge. I have one in the fridge aging right now, EKU 28. It's 11% alcohol, I think, and the Santa Claus is 14%.
Wow.
There is no way you can drink one bottle of that and walk straight. That is impossible. I don't care. You got people that talk trash, they cannot back it up. Santa Claus is a devastator, a true devastator. It's a true sipper. I mean, you gulp that, you might pass out.
Oh, I don't know. I reckon I've seen Dave. He can guzzle a bit. Oh, swill and grog. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's clear in the front there, but yeah, swill and grog. I don't know. Give it a run. Hey, you reckon swill and grog?
Yeah.
Santa Claus on. I pay for it.
Swill and
Well, I
grog.
recall the time that we reviewed Sierra Nevada Optimum. I think it's, 10.5% ABV if memory serves, and we had a bit of a, beer tubers catch up like via Skype, and we reviewed that first, and then, we had a few lagers afterwards, and we paid the price the next day. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's a train I don't want. That's the train I don't want to buy a ticket for.
Yeah.
I'll show you if you can wait 26 seconds. I'll show you something.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
You continue talking for the world.
Okay. All right.
Yes, Swollen Grog, it's an outstanding beer, this. It's, I believe you have a family member who lives just down the road from it.
Yes, my brother Tim actually lives, very close in very close proximity to the to the Wychwood Brewery. That's in Whitney, Oxfordshire. Yeah, that's obviously where this Oxfordshire. Yeah, it's actually the town of Whitney is actually historically famous for its 3 B's. It's bread, it's blankets, and it's beer. Yeah.
Oxfordshire.
So, I mean, when I go there eventually, I'm very much interested in trying their bread, but I don't know whether I'm interested in the blankets or not. Never really had an interest in blankets.
Well, hello there. I've returned. And what I would like to show you at this moment is the EKU 28.
Okay.
You guzzle this, and you'll regret it. It's from Germany. It's fabulous, though. It really is one of the highest rated beers around, and it's Michael Jackson gave it a great. You remember the famous Michael Jackson? He called it a
singer.
He called it a world classic. But it's 11% alcohol, and it's incredible. Now I want to show you 2 more things, just because I'm a sneaky little chap, and I couldn't resist getting them out the fridge. If old Dave or Jez comes to America, here's a 40-ounce bottle of Magnum.
Oh, wow.
That's a lager that'll bring in the different, take you different place. Magnum. It's famous here in America. Yeah, it's a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
They're going to plastic now, I see. Yeah. The 40s.
And I'll show you one more. And I had to drive 70 miles to get it. Hurricane.
Hurricane.
Oh, geez, I'm very scared of hurricanes.
Yeah, and I think, they destroy cities, and people's lives. This is the beer and the actual storm. This is a Hurricane malt liquor, and it's in a 40-ounce bottle. I don't know what that is in liters. A lot of liters. I mean, not a lot of milliliters. Excuse me, not a lot of liters.
I'd be 1.18.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know if it's 40 ounce. Yeah.
But
1.18 liters.
These are interesting, and that has nothing to do with Hobgoblin. All right. Anyway, back to Hobgoblin. Really great beer. I would highly recommend it to anyone. So, if you're out there in the beer culture and you want to try something fabulous, in my opinion, check out Wychwood's Hobgoblin. I don't think you will be in any way disappointed.
Yes, indeed.
Agreed.
I believe you're in agreement.
Yes.
I think
Definitely.
I think Swillengrog had a great idea to do this Hobgoblin. I'm glad he brought it up. I'm glad I was able to get it. Not widespread around here, but it is available. And it was really enjoyable looking at this and just being able to talk over the internet to people in the other side of the world, so that's, on the other side of the world, so that's very interesting to do.
You mentioned people 50 years ago thinking that you could do this. They'd call you mad. Imagine saying we could talk instantly via the internet through the phone line. It's just it's pretty amazing, really. We all take it for granted, I think, sometimes.
I remember as a child watching the Jetsons and all of these shows, and I was thinking this will be interesting when we can do this one day, or if I live to see it, but then it happened. And of course we'll look back in 50 years or not, but and say oh, well, remember how primitive it was in the 2000 teens, remember that? how primitive it was. But anyway, you deal with the technology you have at hand. When we had cordless phones in the 80s, we were so excited. And not to mention when compact disc hit the market.
Yeah,
that was definitely a leap forward. Yeah,
So,
beginnings of the digital age.
oh, yes. So anyway, well, thank you for joining me, and I was so glad to join you too, and I hope the audience enjoyed our examination of the fabulous Wychwood Hobgoblin.
Yeah, I'd just like to finish by saying, go and chuck another shrimp on the barbie.
Yes, and I'm glad you said that, because all Americans well know that everybody in Australia says that more or less all the time.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing right now. After this review, I'm going to the barbecue and chucking some shrimp on the barbie. So.
And,
yeah, and having a Foster.
We all drink Fosters. We know that all Australians love and adore Fosters because we're told that on television every night. So,
yeah.
Good luck with the shrimp on the barbie, Walter Matilda, and the Foster's Lager.
Indeed.